Oh, you were already. Oh,
What
yeah.
are you doing? What are you doing?
Here it is.
Not fertilizer.
Here it is, April 7th in 2015, and we're at Lulu's house in Lodi, and all the sisters are getting together. We had a big rainstorm and hail just a few minutes ago. Everybody smile. We don't have to be serious.
Okay.
But
Shall we talk?
we want you to tell us about Grandma and Grandpa, what you know about when Grandpa proposed to Grandma, and did he marry her and bring her home here the very next day?
I don't know.
You don't know?
Well, I'm the youngest, so I don't know anything.
He proposed in Switzerland at the Bahnhof Buffet.
Uh-huh.
Where she worked. She was
Oh, yeah.
A wait.
a waitress.
Mm-hmm.
But we don't know what made him pick her out. He never did say.
That sounds kind of harsh.
No, like, you know, of all the girls there, he said, oh, that Louisa, because he always called her Louisa.
I don't know any of that.
And they only went together for about a month.
Oh, I didn't even know that.
Well,
Yeah, and he came back to the USA, but he went back to pick her up and bring her here.
Yeah, Daddy had been in Argentina, and he had been in California,
In North Dakota, I
North
think.
Dakota.
well, how long had he been traveling? You know, since a young man, did he work here in the States, in Argentina? What, or was he independently wealthy?
He came by himself, Johan.
I've seen some pictures of him
You
coming
saw-
from Argentina on a ship
Oh,
with lots of women around, and I thought, well, I
really?
wonder what he went to Argentina for. No, that's not nice.
He was a vaquero, and he rode horses.
Not true, not true.
Yes, sir, it's true.
It is?
Really? How long did he stay down there?
He worked on a big cattle ranch in Argentina.
Oh, I didn't know
Oh, I
that.
didn't know that.
For how months? How many years?
I don't know.
I think it was 2 months.
Could he have had another family down there? Why is this such a mystery?
It's not a mystery.
It's just that they never talked about it.
The reason he picked Grandma, though, he went back to get her because when he first saw her, she was able to carry 80 cups on her tray with no trouble.
80 cups?
In the Bahnhof buffet.
Stacked?
He
Oh,
counted them,
80 cups?
and she said yes to him because she always wanted to go to California. That's
Well-
what she said.
Well, what do we know about Grandma as a child?
She was,
Foster child, or she?
she
Oh,
didn't,
yeah, she was.
Have no brothers and
She
sisters?
was.
no brothers and sisters, and she
And
was,
She was.
In 1947, when Lulu and I went to visit her foster parents in Lucerne, her mother was in bed because she had really, really bad legs. But the man we called Grandpa that day, we only were with him one day. He took us out to his little garden. You know how they have the little gardens outside of the city? And he was just so loving and so fun to be with and everything. But that's the only time we ever met any of our grandparents. Never knew any grandparents.
the lady that I met there, had a wooden leg.
A peg leg.
And it wasn't wooden because every time she'd step on that one leg, it would go, you know, real kind of loud. And you know, that was to me, I was going, oh. So, I mean, I'm not making fun of her,
Yeah.
but that's how it was in those days. They used to wear those things instead of.
Well, was Grandma very emotional when she saw her parents? I mean, evidently, she didn't get to see them very often.
They were like her foster parents.
But she
Yeah.
loved them. She
But
loved
she
them.
loved them.
Oh, yeah.
And whenever they'd go to Switzerland, Grandpa would just kind of avoid them. And that's what hurt her the most.
Yeah, we just
He
went
didn't go
with
to-
Mama that day, huh?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I remember.
Well, Grandpa took us out to, our grandpa took us out to the garden so my mom and her mom could be together, just to be together.
My mother was always so wonderful and respectful and kind. She really was. And so I know it hurt her to go see them, but she needed to do that, and she knows that that would be the right thing to do. So She was always a lovely person.
And were you there that day, Mickey?
Mm-hmm.
And then you said that on that trip to Switzerland, you flew home on an airplane because you had to go to school. Didn't have to come back on the ship.
I was already in nursing school for 3 months, and I had the nerve to say, ask the sister in charge if I could go for 3 months to Switzerland.
Could go what?
If I could take 3 months off and go to Switzerland.
And what did she say? What?
Oh, I never heard of such a thing.
Where was that? Where was it you were going to school?
At St. Joseph's in San Francisco, nursing school.
Oh,
Now we had some cousins that, what was their private school they were in? What was that? You know, they slept there and everything?
But Tanta Leta was that?
Yeah, down to Lake.
In Switzerland.
Was that a school?
A
Like a high
convent.
school?
A convent.
Convent. Well,
Yeah, but they were learning,
they, yeah, and they stayed there. It was a private
Oh,
school.
and but they were very wild.
Our cousins.
Even more so than us Americans, you know, young girls. As young girls, mind you, a nun was taking care of that place, and there was a lot of just girls in it. And when the nun went to bed and stuff, we'd all climb out the window and be out in town till midnight, and sometimes till early morning. Didn't we go? And then we went back and ran and got in the window again before the nun could see us. That was Daddy's sister.
Yeah, the nun was Daddy's sister. Her name was Sister Leta.
mm-hmm.
And she lived to be about, 96 years old. And she wasn't any taller than maybe 5 foot, maybe, if that much, huh?
Mm.
She was just the loveliest, the most beautiful person. And so, a sense of humor. She had a real funny sense of humor. She just loved to laugh. And she'd walk around with her beads,